Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time of day it is, and whatever day it is, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of AJH Politics. This is episode 16. I'm your host, Eric Herman. I'm the Libertarian candidate for Shawnee County Commission District 1. Most of the videos that I have been putting up this year have been to cover the Shawnee County Commission meetings, but this one is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about MART, M-A-R-T, and patriotism to humanists and pagans. For this reason, this episode will be in three parts. This is just the introduction. In part one, I will talk about MART, which is the Manhattan Area Resettlement Team. In part two, I'll talk about patriotism to humanists. And in part three, I'll talk about patriotism to pagans. I know these videos don't rack up a lot of views, but I do want to preface that I am only trying to share observation and not insults. I'm grateful to have learned about the opinions of my neighbors or people in the community, what they have to say about stuff. So where and when I disagree with someone's premise on the function of MART or the definition of patriotism, I'm only trying to share the opinion of one guy on the internet. These communities where I was were all polite, respectful, peaceful, and inviting to have me there. And I thought everyone there was a wonderful person, although some of their understanding of economics and ethics differ from me. Also, I will try to keep this PG-13 with the language, but sometimes my free speech gets the best of me. And I hope you enjoy the videos that accompany this stuff. For the most part, well, we'll see what happens. I'm just doing the audio recording right now. Welcome to episode 16A. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about MART, which is the Manhattan Area Resettlement Team. This comes from a presentation I witnessed at a recent humanist meeting. MART is a federally funded program that helps immigrants or refugees get situated in America. There are several branches of this program in the country, and as I recall, they mentioned them having chapters in Lawrence and Wichita as far as Kansas was concerned. Maybe also KC-Mo. Let me go ahead, and you're seeing their website on the thing. I think if you just kind of Google that, you'll end up getting there, even though it's not necessarily mart.com. The two presenters talked about what they did, and it sounded kind of like halfway houses for immigrants or refugees. They used both words rather interchangeably, where they help them with education, maybe learning English, job placement, getting set up with permanent housing, health care, dental care. They certainly talked about needing more money, especially for dental care. They talked about specifically about a woman from Ukraine who may have been a single mom, I don't remember, and how she basically needs help with, and I wrote down literally everything, just so you know how this person's doing. They also told the story about some Latin American refugee crossing the southern border, where she was like a single mom with 6 kids, and then she was in Texas, and then was to Kansas, and then she went back to Texas, and now she's coming back to Kansas. By the way, now she has a single mom of 7 kids. So apparently that makes it extra sad and extra important that she gets help. And while I'm trying to reshare the story as heartfelt as I can make it sound, I just hear taxes being taken and spent, which does not really impress me as a libertarian. Stealing money from someone to give to another is not virtuous. I do believe that their actions are indeed noble. I think their heart is in the right place, and I have no problem with them doing their job. I just have a problem with how it's funded. Let me start by saying that the employees of MART are doing this because they get paid. I'm sure they have volunteers, and they can love their job all they want, but you wouldn't show up. You can't just spend 40 hours a week, all day, every week, unless you have, I don't know, a blessing where you don't have to go to work and you just get to volunteer. Like when I have to donate my time, I get paid for it because what I do has some sort of level of suck factor rather than some sort of level of virtue factor. And congratulations on having your virtue from volunteering, or not getting paid. I'd say the same thing about teachers, emergency responders, and the military. What you do is you do a job because you get paid. And there's nothing wrong with that. I will never fault anyone in those professions from ever getting paid. And you can absolutely be grateful for your job and enjoy doing it and what you do. But if you want to impress me, I don't know. I guess if your action was so important that you would like if somebody was truly stranded and you pulled off and helped them change a flat tire. You know, like, are you a mechanic? Are you doing it like out of a human thing, or are you doing it out of an economic thing? And so, like, important actions need to get paid because apparently not enough people are willing to do it for free. And if you're acting like you would do it for free, then you can always do it for free. You don't have to get paid. But so anyway, government employees aside, this is funded by federal tax dollars. And I directly asked that. 100% funded by federal tax dollars, which begs the question of why do they need donations if it's already 100% funded? But let's just put that aside. This program is not being run by the concurrent opinion of the local taxpayers and the local tax levy, but it is getting paid from people all over this country. It's federal tax dollars. And I just have a problem with taking money from New Jersey to pay Kansas the same way that Kansas should have a problem if we had to go pay for New Jersey. I do perceive this action. I do not perceive this action, excuse me. I do have a script here. I wrote down, I do not perceive this action and helping or building a local community. Yes, I do not perceive it like that because local communities help each other. This is basically Manhattan or Wichita or KC-Mo or anywhere there is one of these things trying to build itself up with federal tax dollars on really a, I mean, like if you're going to buy a lottery ticket, do you want $1 million or do you want to win another mom with 7 kids? Like I'm just saying, like, what value is this to the American people, right? Like, I'm not saying it's not heartfelt. I'm just saying we're spending a lot of money on something that are you getting value out of it? It sounds to me like these people have severe problems that the government isn't helping with, even though they need more money. You know, like that's what I get like so confused about. So the sham just screams loudly to my mind. It involves money from not Manhattan and gives it to someone in Manhattan. So I have no problem with immigration, but immigrants to America should come here to earn their keep. They should not be coming here to be given their keep. Immigration is hard, and America has a long history of immigration. And throughout American history, local communities have stepped up to help immigrants. Enclaves like Chinatown or Little Italy gave communities a taste of home while they assimilate into America. Communities linking cultures, religion, and national origin tend to help their own, and that's fine. That's actually great. It's inherently local to some definition, and it is voluntary. But this idea that someone more needy can just knock on your door and say, gimme, just doesn't fly with me. Nor is it truly the American way. You cannot be given the American dream. You can only earn it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a dream. You understand? Maybe, I hope. And I think we've lost our way in understanding that because there is no trophy without conquering a challenge. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on MART. Again, very kind people, very passionate. Definitely people that feel empathy more than I do, or I should say differently than I do. I disagree with them. I feel empathy for the underprivileged Americans I know in my community that could be using some of this help. And this sort of sob story about the Ukrainian and Guatemalan women that are somehow in Manhattan, Kansas, of all places, is simply, it's not on my radar of who I think my dollar bill can help the most. Because the farther your dollar bill travels, it's going to lose value. And I understand Manhattan is a lot closer than Ukraine, but what's the Ukrainian doing there in the first place? I don't understand. I understand there's a war and all of that, but we can't fix the world. And that's the colonialism that the left complains about, and yet they worship it at the same time. You got to let them be. In fact, it's kind of came up what I was talking about. They mentioned about how there's so many people that need help, but these 2 individuals really need help, and it was such an emotional manipulation to claim the emotional, financial, and social needs of everyone, and claim your sort of Save the Whales campaign, as I call it, claiming that that's the truly holy one. I mean, we all got a tip somewhere at some point, and it is what it is. You can save the whales, you can save the rainforest, you can, end the death wherever. But in the end, I don't know what else to tell you. I try to keep my community as tight-knit as possible and on its toes. Like, I just try to build my community because that's where I have control over. We're talking about county commission, right? Anyway, Anytime there's an economic transfer, there's a loss. That's what I was talking about with the dollar bills. I did ramble right there, but back to the script. That's why I believe in donating your blood. That's what I had a thing here about donating your blood. Like I said, it's better than giving the money to the Red Cross to get the stuff over to Africa. Like that, it might turn into 57 cents by then. And you can say, well, 57 cents, gets you oh so much. No, what I'm saying is it loses still like 43% of its value. It's not a thing. They need things, not some piece of paper. So anyway, I'll just end by saying they passed around a basket and several people donated money. I did not. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I feel like I've already donated to their cause through my federal taxes. Good for them. They got it. They got their money. Um, and they're doing some really nice things out there. And I think they absolutely do have volunteers and all that sort of stuff. So just to like not shit on them entirely, but also give them a shout out. Nice people, nice thing. I've heard good things about how they really do try to help people. I just don't like federal tax dollars. That's all. Um, and I just wish Manhattan could take care of Manhattan, not having the federal government come in. Like if those two persons were employed by a county government to do what they would do, it'd be totally different than them being federal employees. So let's go ahead and end. That was episode 16A. Let's cue the outro. Thank you. Bye. So thank you for listening to this episode 16. And we'll be talking about MART. We talked about patriotism to both humanists and to pagans. I hope I didn't ramble too long or say too many ums as I continue to do. I wanted to get this out. I'm already late behind. I was able to type up about half the script, which got you 16A and 16B. So thank you so much for listening. Please vote for me, Eric Herman for Shawnee County District 1.